guys, welcome back to our channel. Today's gonna be the 32-week bump date, and there's kind of a lot to talk about, a little more than last week. And I have my phone with me today because, so if you see it in the shot, I'm sorry, but the more pregnant I get, the worse my pregnancy brain is, and I have to have notes in order to know what I'm talking about. But weight gain, let's start off with that. In the last 2 weeks, I have gained a total of 3 pounds, which puts me at 170. Yeah, that sounds real fat, I know, but what are you gonna do? And in total, throughout the whole pregnancy, from start to 32 weeks, I have gained 22 pounds. So I'm on track of what I should be gaining, which is good. As far as cravings and sleep go, they are both the same. I still am the same sleeping way. It's actually getting just a smidge worse because of the way my belly's getting harder and that kind of thing. And cravings, still none, still the same. I still eat. It's really hard for me to choose things. So those two things, nothing's really changed since the 30-week video. As far as movement goes, he definitely has been more, not more in my ribs, but I would say maybe because he's growing long ways, that his feet are in my ribs and they just kind of hang out there, which makes my ribs kind of ache. So I can feel him more in my ribs, definitely. And more in the bottom, to where he's stretching more. Here comes where the phone is gonna come into. Symptoms. So I definitely have had a lot, not a lot, but I definitely have had heartburn more. And I noticed that it's only when I eat certain foods, like any kind of tomato sauce, like pasta sauce, anything spicy, anything really with acid or acidity in it, is I have to really be careful because I have really bad heartburn, and then I can't sleep at night, and I'm just constantly acid reflux puking in my throat. So I have to be careful with what I eat, which kind of sucks because I'm already so limited on what I can eat because I have so many food aversions and everything sounds gross. So when something as easy as, okay, I just need to make spaghetti for dinner, I can't have that because I'll have acid reflux. So it's definitely a huge challenge to now be restricted on food when I already am kind of restricted on my taste as well. So that's a new challenge. My belly button is getting stretched and pushed out, and I definitely have a really tender belly button. It hurts to well, it doesn't hurt, but it's way more tender because it's exposed, I guess, and touching it, it hurts a little bit. So that's a new thing, is that my belly button's really tender. And also, my vagina feels super heavy sometimes. Sometimes it'll feel normal, and sometimes it'll feel really heavy. It's kind of like he had moved himself lower, and then I just feel all of this just pressure and heaviness down in my vagina. And I also have been getting sharp pains down there sometimes, and I think that might be lightning crotch. I'm not really sure, but it is definitely, I can tell when he has moved himself lower, but he always ends up moving back to where he was, but some days he just sits so low down there. I wanted to go ahead and talk about my 32-week doctor's appointment. It was very interesting. So this whole pregnancy, I've been super healthy, and he's been really healthy. Everything's been perfectly fine. But at my 32-week doctor appointment, I had high blood pressure, and I think it was 150 over something, or 145, 150 over something. And it was interesting because I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel any different than when I normally go to the doctor. And the nurse freaked out. She freaked out, and she took it like 4 times. She kept telling me to go to my happy place, please take a couple breaths, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, she was like asking me all these questions about what I ate, what I did, all this stuff. And she was like really freaking out about my blood pressure. And every time she took it, it was the exact same. So that was very interesting. And the doctor came in and said, you have high blood pressure. That's a concern for preeclampsia. So that's why she was freaking out so much. But they checked my urine, and I have no protein in my urine. And then I got blood drawn, and all of my blood work came back normal. So it must have been some kind of fluke or something. But it was so interesting to like see everyone freak out. But I have also been having period-like cramps in my uterus and also in my back. And I was asking the doctor about it, and apparently I'm having mild contractions. So that's interesting. If I do anything, if I don't drink enough water, which is normal, if I do anything out of the norm, I normally get the period-like crampiness. So I've just been suggested to try and not do anything as much as possible until I can, because she doesn't want me to have a preterm baby. So that was an interesting doctor's appointment. She's also having me do kick counts, so 10 counts within 2 hours. She told me to do it once a day. So I'm gonna start doing those and see if I can get 10 kicks in 2 hours. I might do them morning and night just to make sure I am not paranoid. But yeah, so that was my doctor's appointment. It was really weird, but I also wanted to talk about the hospital tour that we went on. So we went on to the doctor's appointment, and then we went to the hospital tour. It was amazing. Our hospital is so easy to navigate. Literally everything is in a U. So the labor and birth rooms, the labor and delivery rooms are in the first part of the U, and then you have the postpartum rooms in the back of the U. You have the NICU also in the U, and then you have OR, like an OR room in the U as well. So everything is within a U. You have a little baby waiting room in the back, but a big one in the front. So everything is in one spot, and it's awesome. So I literally, instead of moving floors or moving to a different area on the floor, I literally moved from labor to postpartum within like a couple doors. So that's really exciting. I would say like it was so surreal to be in the labor room, like checking it out and looking at it. I've been in 2 different labor rooms, like one for my younger sister and one for my older sister, and it didn't really like, you know, it didn't really sink in, because one, with my younger sister, I wasn't pregnant, but 2, with my older sister, like, I don't know, it doesn't like click until you're actually in the tour, standing in the room that you could possibly be delivering in. Like that room that we were showed, I could possibly be laboring in. So that is so awesome. And it was like so crazy to be standing in there, like it's happening, like this is real, like we're about to be in this room for hours birthing a child. So I'm like really nervous, not about like the labor process, but I don't know, it just is like, it brings on a lot of emotions. But that was really cool. And they give us all like a lot of stuff. Like I get a robe, that's cool. And they're gonna give him a birthday cake when he's born, so I get to eat some cake. And like there's just like so many cool things our hospital does, and I'm so happy that we're birthing at that hospital. But yeah, that was our birthing tour, and it's just getting closer and closer. So that's gonna be it for our 32-week video. And now it's time for the bump shot. This is 32 weeks on this side, and the front, and this side. But yeah, before I end the video, I got a comment. We got a comment on our last video, our 30-week video, and it said, hold on, let me pull it up so I can read it. The comment was from Amy Briggs, and she said, would you be willing to answer a question in your next update? Have you experienced any embarrassing or funny symptoms in your pregnancy, like lots of gas or farting, things like that? And I will have to say, I don't have any embarrassing stories because this whole pregnancy I've been staying at home, so I don't really go anywhere unless it's with Joe, and I don't know, I don't really get out of the house because I like being home. So I would have to say there's nothing really embarrassing, just you're asking about like farting and gas. Yes, pregnancy has brought on some nasty gas. It's not like the normal gas, you know, mine like get watery, and every time I like go ahead and let one rip, because who wants to hold in their farts when they're pregnant? Okay, nobody. So I'll let one rip, and Joe always asks if I pooped myself because that's what it sounds like, but I just, that's what he always says every time. It is literally on point every time. So I would have to say that, and that's about it. And the only other time that's been embarrassing in my own home was when I had my boobs just leak like a faucet, and Joe kept saying that it was gross. So that's like the only two things that I would have to say are, I guess, embarrassing, but that's answering your question. I'm sorry I don't have any embarrassing stories. I'm a boring person and I don't go anywhere. And if I do go anywhere, nothing really happens. So it's all within my own home with my husband. But yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Comment down below if you being pregnant have had any experience with high blood pressure and what happened to you. Did it get better? Did you have to get induced? Let me know down below. Let me know if you want me to talk about anything in my next bump dates. And if you want to see more from our channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, another day, another story. Bye.